All right, so every day, every Tuesday about this time, we make a little trip to Dr. John Braccio's office as he's up early, and I think he's actually still in his jammies having a little coffee with us. Dr. Braccio, welcome to your morning wake-up again.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. And I think we have a good topic today in terms of how parents build emotional strength and resilience in their children. You know, with the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the loss of personal interactions in the school setting and with family and friends, we really have multitudes of children who have not only suffered academic loss, and we've certainly been seeing the data on that, but also suffered to one degree or another with anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, phobias, poor resilience to problems, poor emotional strength, and general fears about life and their future. And this is really difficult for many, many persons. You know, we definitely had to do in terms of what we were doing with the pandemic, but there's still people who have a lot of fear it's going to come back. They've seen people that have died, have been illness from it. They lost a lot of time not interacting with people. And really, in such an environment, and we're not saying everyone, but we're certainly talking about too many, okay? But really, in such an environment, it really is critical that really parents really work hard, okay, in terms of helping build emotional strength and resilience in their children to not only address problem areas, but also help them develop life skills and overcome them. Because being able to be resilient and really deal with the problems of everyday life, and then add on top of that what we've had going on the last couple of years, and even the bifurcation of the country politically, with so much disagreement among persons that they love and care for. I mean, it's so parental behaviors to really help their children get through this period would really include patience and understanding. You have to remember that a lot of students and our children have been through a lot, okay? You know, when we look back to the long time period that people were just working with a computer screen, they weren't seeing people, they were fearful of this virus just floating around. And hear it now, just talking to young people, we do in our offices in terms of, is it going to come back? You know, what's going on? So I think parents want to be patient, understanding with their children. They want to model stability, the good problem solving and resolving resilience. And this is important too, that if children can see, and this is true in any case, but particularly in the cases we're talking about now, but if parents are modeling stability, that they're making good problem solving when issues come up in life, and they develop resilience, because when you're able to problem solve and move forward, you develop the resilience, the ability to move on, learn from things, and not be overwhelmed. And then there's a need for parents to have close communication with school personnel as needed, because we want to make sure that children are advancing, okay, that they're not kind of falling behind, or they're behind to a point that they're not moving quickly. We want to make counseling as necessary, particularly for students in school, our children, who may have experienced death of friends, loved ones, or even just watching on TV or hearing things, they start worrying, and they can even pick up PTSD, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder. They can start reliving events, reliving things, and worrying. So these are things we really don't want to do, and we really want to try to, if need be, have counseling for children as they need it. Close contact with clergy consistent with your faith, if you have faith and you belong to a denomination, or even if not. I mean, this is the time that people that have faith can try to find purpose through their spirituality. Now, there is tutoring support as needed. You know, there may be a need for children to have tutoring, and often there are schools that will let older students or persons help with tutoring if a person doesn't have the finances to have their own tutor on the outside of the school. But having support, and if parents can do this, also be helpful, it can be useful. And then something really critical, showing unconditional love in times of difficulties, okay? It's always important for the person in this difficult situation, we're talking specifically children, to know that they're really unconditionally loved, that they are really somebody really important in the life of the person, the parent really cares. Doesn't matter if they're married, divorced, or whatever it might be, but that the parents are really having that in the children, that they see that they feel it. Okay, then developing strong family commitment and attachment. When children are really strongly attached to family and family members, and this may in some cases be other persons, but we'll talk about family commitment and attachment. This gives the child a sense of belonging and attaching. And you add to that the love, the unconditional love and the attachment, it really, really becomes important.
So identity.
You also want identity, yes, there's no question. And then you also want to be encouraging family, healthy family and other social interactions. As we have gotten over the pandemic, we want to have our children in good relationships. We want to re-enter persons that may have not been with us or been involved due to all the lockdowns and what was going on. So we want to really do that. Get our children back interacting with important people in their lives. And then also, this is a hard thing to do when people have picked up phobias, which are unreasonable fears of death or concern, or just a fear of life on an unreasonable level. It's important that parents really explain and try to work with their children to know the difference between reasonable and unreasonable beliefs and concerns. And this is a lot harder than it may seem, because a person picks up a particular fear or concern, and then they have trouble. This will affect anyone, but when children get it, this is kind of beyond the topic we're talking today, Mike, but they can start picking up other phobias and concerns. And then, and the last point here, the key one is helping build resilience to life's problems through effective problem analysis and solution. Now, we talked earlier about parents modeling this type of behavior, and that's important. It's also important that parents be helpful to children, not necessarily solve all their problems, because you can't. Issues, problems come up in life, and that's part of the human experience. But to help them, be available, to talk to them, and when problems come up, to be able to help them analyze, focus on a problem, and help them come up with a solution. Their solution is they're working on things in life. So these are the types of things that parents need to do as best they can, working with children when we're dealing with the aftermath of this COVID-19 pandemic. And then when you hear it may be coming back, it's always going to be around. And that's probably true. The question is, how do we deal with it? And we don't want to have just people really are fearful and worrying all the time. We want people to realize there are risks in life. There's certain things we can do to overcome them. But the important thing is to forge onward and deal with the resilience that we need in order to move forward and be successful in life. So that's kind of the idea.
Dr. John Braccio, running short on time today. This was a great topic. I love this, especially going into the holidays here. Knee deep into the holidays here. Communication is key on a number of different levels, isn't it? Huh?
Absolutely. Communication is really key. That's how we humans interact. But with our children, it's really important in times of crisis, which we've been in, that when we come out of these, that we be modeling good behaviors, that we start helping them with good behaviors, building resilience, being able to problem solve becomes very, very critical. That's really what we want to do, Mike. And that's how, if we're successful, if we work at being successful, it helps our children be successful. But these can be difficult times. We need to move on. How does that sound? A good way in life.
Dr. John Braccio, always an interesting topic and a good guest every Tuesday. Doc, have a great day. We appreciate your expertise.
Same to you, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right. God bless. We'll do this. Come back. 1320 WILS.